Okay, now we're going to assemble the top removable hatch. Start with these 4 pieces here, and you're just going to remove the support tabs. They should break off, but you may need to trim them off with a box cutter. Next, take the 2 middle sections and find the screw holes. We are going to screw these sections together with the number 4 3/8" screws. This step may be a little frustrating, but just go slow and steady and not force anything, and the pieces will eventually screw together. Next, we're going to glue on the front piece. The middle place has these little tabs, and these tabs are going to glue into these little cutouts in the front piece. They should fit together very nicely. But before gluing, we need to make an elevated base for the pieces to rest on when the glue dries, since the bottom is not flat. I'm using wood, but you can use anything you can find around the house. Make sure the pieces stay together when you set it down to rest. Next, we're going to add the glue. Add the glue to the top piece of the front piece, and then in the little tabs that will connect to the middle piece. Add glue to these side tabs. And then stick the pieces together. They should fit together nice and snug. And next we can add painter's tape just to make sure everything stays together while it dries. And once that dries, we're going to glue on the back piece that will fit in just like this. You're going to put glue inside these little tabs. There's a couple on the side, then in the middle, and wherever it connects to the middle piece. And then stick them together. And then add the painter's tape to make sure they stay together while the glue dries. And once that dries, we're going to add these side pieces. You're going to break off these support tabs. Next, you can see how it fits. It fits underneath that little top lip and then scooted all the way to the front. And next, you're going to find all these clips. And you're going to line them up. Each clip has a flat side and an angle side, and there are 2 short clips for each side. So before gluing, we're going to add this side piece again, and then we're going to add the clips just to see where they go. You're going to take the short clip like this, and these short clips go in the front spots like this. So the clips are angled to match the angle of the ship. You're going to have to kind of play around with them to see which side fits on which side. But the flat side goes on the inside of the ship and the angled side goes on the outer side of the ship. And so again, you're going to have the 2 short clips in front, and then the 5 remaining clips go all the way down, even into that last little opening. And once you have that all figured out, you can finally glue the side piece into place. And make sure you position the side piece as far forward as it can go. And next you're going to add the clips. You don't need to glue the clips in for now. Just put them in place just so the glue can dry. And then you can go back later and glue these in place. And do the same for the other side. And while that's drying, we can add the first piece of this tower. We're just gonna glue that in place. And then we're gonna add these side details. Make sure it lines up properly. And this is just gonna be glued in place as well. And then we're gonna add painter's tape just to make sure everything stays in place while it dries. And do the same for the other side as well. After this, the main hatch will mostly be done. We just have to add more detail pieces, and we'll do that in the next segment. Alright, so at this point we're ready to add the top hatch to the main ship. We're just gonna set it in place for now. And next we're gonna add some detail pieces to the top of the hatch. This little piece is angled, so make sure you get the angles right when you put it in place. And we're just going to glue these pieces in place. And next we need to assemble these gun turrets. These need to be glued together. Each of the round turrets has 2 little guns that need to be glued on. And you'll need 8 of the round turrets. And there's also these 2 top turrets. Each of these has little guns that need to be glued on. Just glue those in place as you see here. And now we're going to glue these in place. The round turrets get glued here. There's going to be 4 on each side. And the first top turret goes right here. And the other turret goes down here. We're just going to glue both of these in place. And next we're going to assemble this top bridge section. So this front piece, the top edge right there lines up with the top of this. You're just going to glue those together like that. And then these 2 halves need to be glued together. And then these, I guess this is an antenna of some sort. These little side pieces need to glue onto each side of this kind of star-shaped object. And now we're just going to glue everything together. This top piece fits right in between 2 little extrusions. Should fit just like this. These antenna pieces may be a tight fit, but they do fit in, and you can even put a little bit of pressure on top to fit those in. And when that's all dry, you can add that to the top hatch. This is just going to glue in place. And you should add some tape here just to make sure everything stays in place while it dries. And when all the glue is dry, we'll be ready to add the magnets into these little inserts right here. There's 4 in the front and 4 in the back. First thing we need to do is add magnets onto each of the existing magnets that we glued in earlier. Then take a moment to see where the magnets will mount into the hatch. Keep in mind that magnets are polarized and will only attach to each other one particular way. If you glue the magnets in backwards, the magnets will actually repel each other. So make sure you glue the magnets in the correct way. Now the front magnets for the top hatch are a tight squeeze, and getting them inserted may be a little problematic. And you may have to use pliers or some sort of tool to fit them in. If that's the case, make sure you use a towel to protect both the magnet and the model itself. And then add the 4 magnets in the back as well. And the top hatch is now done. Make sure you let the glue for the magnets dry before adding this top hatch to the main ship. And now we're going to assemble the hatch for the prisoner cell. You're going to need to find a block or a piece of wood or something for this to sit on because it does not sit flat. And we're just going to glue everything together. And now we're going to add the magnets. And before gluing, remember the magnet's polarity. If you glue the magnets in backwards, the magnets will actually repel each other, and you don't want that. And let the hatch dry separately before putting it on the ship. And now we need to assemble the entrance ramp support structure. First, you're going to break off all the tabs and then line up the pieces like this. And this is how it needs to line up. Make sure these 2 pieces are next to each other, just like this. And then we're going to glue these pieces together. And this is what it should look like. And when it's dry, you're just going to insert the peg into this hole and just glue it in place, and it's all done. First step for this assembly is to add the stickers, as you see here. You're going to need 4 of these curved wall panels, and then there's 1 flat wall panel that goes in the back. We're just going to break the tabs off of all these pieces. Next, take a moment to see where all these pieces go. The flat one goes directly on the back wall there, centered. And then the curved pieces are going to go around the edge. There's going to be 1 curved piece on each side of the opening. And then you're going to put another curved piece right next to this magnet bracket so that it butts up right next to the magnet bracket. And then you're just going to glue all these pieces in place. And this is what it should look like when you're done with that. And next we're going to glue together the top hatch. You're just going to glue this so the magnet cutouts line up. And once those white panels are dry, you can add the white chair. Glue this in the center, but slightly towards the back. You're going to make sure it's as far back as it can without touching the back wall. And now we're going to add the magnets, the exact same process as before. Grab two and glue them into each side. And now add the top hatch in place. You can also glue that top disc onto the very top if you haven't done that already. And when that is all done drying, you can add that to the main ship. We're just going to glue that in place. Try to keep it as centered as you can. And now we're going to add the hologram platform. This is going to screw in place with the number 4 1/2-inch screws. And then you're going to glue on the top hologram platform so Darth Vader can communicate with the Emperor's hologram. And the interior is now officially complete. And we're almost done. Got to add a couple things here. We're going to add covers to these 2 screws right here. We're just going to glue those in place. And next we need to add decals to the prisoner cell. There's the video screens that goes on the top wall. And then there's 2 vent stickers that go on either side. And this is what it should look like. And now when we add the top cover, we see that there's some screws that need to be covered up. We're going to use these very thin screw covers, and we're just going to glue those to cover the 3 screws on each side that end up being underneath the hatch. And we have to cover these 4 screws at the back. Now these screws stick up a little bit, so I made these little cutout covers. I'm just going to glue those in place on top of the screws. And that's pretty much it. We've covered all the screws. If you want to use the gray sealant to seal any cracks or seams, feel free to do that. And with that, the Star Destroyer is finally complete, and I really hope it turned out great for you guys. And that's it. Your Star Destroyer should be complete. I hope it turned out great, and I hope you felt it was worth all the time and effort you put into it. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for watching.